Levi Davis was being brought in ER for treatment for a terrible wound to his leg. The officer on the scene can't tell the emergency room workers what the arrest is being charged with. He can just make sure that the man is restrained, handcuffed to the bed. The medical personnel on scene this time are rendering aid to a man who committed a brutal murder earlier that day. A murder that left his own mother laying in a pool of her own blood. In Middleton, Idaho, a small town of Justine County just outside of Boise, it's 3:35 p.m. on Monday afternoon, October 10th, 2020, when a call comes in to
Honey. Oh no. Honey.
911, what's the address of the emergency?
I just came up from my work and I think my wife's dead. Oh my God.
Okay, we're getting help on the way. I want you to get flat on her back on the ground and remove any pillows.
She's stiff. She's
stiff?
cold and there's blood everywhere. Oh God, honey.
Do you know where the blood's coming from?
No, I never touched her. Oh Jesus Christ. Oh,
Okay. Are there any weapons near her?
no. Oh God.
Okay.
No.
We're getting help on the way. I want you to repeat the address for me. Okay, how old is she?
40, I don't know.
Okay.
Oh God. Oh no. Oh yeah, there's something wrong with her insides. I think someone's been her. There's footprints in the blood. Get out of here, dog.
Okay.
God.
Sir, I want you to step away from the situation right now. If she's beyond help, don't touch
God.
anything. Keep the dogs away from the area.
Oh God.
Because there's footsteps in the blood.
Yeah, leaning out to the garage. Oh my God.
Okay. Is she in the garage?
Oh, and there's blood on the back door handle. Stuck outside. Oh my God. No.
Is she in the garage?
No, she's in the house in the living room. Oh my God.
Do you have any roommates or children there?
No, my kids went to school this morning.
Okay.
God. No. She's laying kind of on her side and she's ice cold and something on
Okay.
her. Oh, God.
Okay.
Her purse
Okay.
has blood on it. I won't touch it. Oh my God.
the local 911 Center. Officers from the Middleton Police Department have arrived at the home within just a few minutes of the call. What they came across was a nightmarish scene. Within the home on Myrtle Lake Street, they find a distraught husband, Kevin Klein, who leads them to the body of his wife, Carly Cantrell, the mother of four, and executive director of the West Valley Humane Society, was lying dead in a pool of blood. There was evidence that a terrible struggle had happened earlier in the day. Bloody footprints led from the room and into the garage of the house. Family's four dogs locked outside looking in through sliding glass doors at the carnage. Police quickly checked the home to make sure the killer was no longer there. The husband was taken outside and the crime scene secured, just as the family's two youngest sons drove up coming home from a long day at school. There were no signs of a break-in, and police quickly began working on establishing a time frame for the crime. AAs. To detectives, forensic personnel, and the coroner headed into the scene, Kevin explained that he had headed to work that morning around 7:30 a.m., while their two sons drove themselves to school. Around the same time, one of the two youngest sons had gotten to school and realized that he had forgotten a project for his English class at home. He texted his mother, Carly, to let her know and asked her to bring it to him. Carly never answered the next text. With that information in hand, police asked Kevin if he knew if anyone would have a reason to kill Carly. He told them that his stepson and her oldest child, Levi Davis, was most likely the person who killed her. The 26-year-old men had recently been told to leave their home and return to a halfway house. The young man had a long history of trouble, going back to his teens for battery, burglary, and drug offenses. He was currently on parole from prison, and he and Carly fought often and argued as info was sought on Levi's whereabouts. Deputies and detectives began canvassing the neighborhood to find out if anyone had seen or heard anything. They were also on the lookout for security cameras that might have caught video of someone arriving or leaving the house. In this case, the officers got lucky, and the next-door neighbor, Ha, actually seen something very suspicious that morning.
It was gone. I could be mistaken. It could have still been here. But when I left, for sure, I left it in, see here, at 9 a.m. to go to work.
Okay.
It was gone then. But yeah, I know I saw it when I left, or when I first parted to go get the gas, I did see he pulled up right at the same time. I didn't say hi or anything. I just thought it was weird because I haven't seen him in a minute. And he parked in the driveway, which was weird too. He usually parks over there.
Did you actually see Levi, or
No, I
just his
did.
car?
I just saw his car. I didn't physically see him, but
Okay, and then that was about 9 o'clock. You left for work.
yeah, but that's not when I saw the car. When I saw the car, it was 7:54 this morning.
Okay.
Yeah, when I left
And then
for
at
work,
8:11,
I came back with my wife's car.
you're not sure if he was there.
I'm pretty sure he was still there, or the car was still there, but I'm not exactly sure.
And then at
But at 9, he was gone for sure.
9, he was gone for sure. Can you describe Levi's car for me?
It's a blue, not a Mini Cooper. It's a blue, tiny little car.
Blue, like a hatchback?
Yeah, it's a hatchback for sure, but it's a tiny little fucking thing.
Kind of like this, or
Yeah, but smaller than my car for sure.
like a two-door?
It might be a 2-door. I mean, obviously, they'll know. His dad would know. But
Yeah.
yeah, I just know it's a little blue. I know for a million miles away, it's all paint's all messed up and everything.
Paint's messed up. About what year?
Oh man, I'm not that kind of guy that knows that stuff. I mean, it's an older car for sure.
Anything unique about it? Is it loud? Is it?
I know that I just remember the paint being kind of like jacked up, or something about the back of it being just the paint not really looking good. That's about all I can think of.
Okay.
And my wife was here, but she said she didn't hear anything. If you guys wanted to take a statement from her later.
Okay.
But she was here all day. So. I mean, I know it's his car.
And you know Levi from?
Yeah, he smokes cigarettes out here. I smoke, so I talk to him all the time.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
That's about it. Very strange young man, but
Is there something that makes you? I mean, it could have been anybody, right?
for sure, yeah.
Is there something that makes you say, "Well, Levi's car was here, and that's kind of suspicious"? Or
Well, it's very odd to have his car here. For one, parked here, always parked over there, and then two, he hadn't been here for I don't know how long. I don't know their personal lives or anything, so I don't know if he was kicked out or what. But I mean, I know he was gone. So
for how long?
It's been a few months at least. Yeah, because I know he went to when I first moved here. He just came out of the pen, and he was here for a while, and then he disappeared for a couple months. Came back, he was working a little bit, and then he disappeared again. So again, I don't ask him for their business.
Sure.
Yeah.
But you haven't seen his car here or him here for a couple months?
Yeah, probably at least. Yeah. That's why it was pretty weird to just see that today.
Gotcha.
It's very odd. And then for this to happen makes it, for me to say,
Sure.
hand in hand, put together somehow.
Okay.
Neighbors in the immediate area surrounding the home, however, didn't have security cameras on the home that would give any actual video of the suspect at the scene. However, one living further down the street was able to provide a Ring camera video that showed Levi's beat-up blue Chevy AO zipping past her house away from the scene of the crime around 8:20 that morning. Search warrants were obtained for the house as well as for Levi's cell phone pings. Now that a search warrant was in hand, forensic teams moved into the home. A forensic videographer walked into and through the house, documenting the scene as it was all of the family's firearms and kitchen knives were found within the home, and none were missing from the scene. For the footprints led out to the family garage where Carly's vehicle is parked, along with a restoration project SUV outside. Kevin tells the officers that he had set up a rental storage unit for Levi right after he'd been asked to leave the family home. It was meant to be a place for Levi to store his furniture and personal items until he was ready to move out of the halfway house with a steady job and a place of his own. Police would contact Viking Mini Storage, and they were able to verify that Levi and his Chevy AO had been at the facility earlier that day. From that location would prove instrumental in not just tracing Levi's movements but incriminating him. Through eyewitness accounts, security videos, banking transaction hits from his license plate readers in and around the county, and other methods, police were able to put together not just a timeline for the murder, but where Levi had gone. Comments from other residents at the halfway house and other friends would also further incriminate him and tell a story of a man first looking desperately to get away from the scene and then to establish some sort of alibi. The early part of the day seems to be filled with panic, while the second half seems to be him trying to appear as if he was just enjoying a day off. The timeline put together by police puts Levi at his mother's home before 8 a.m. according to the next-door neighbor who saw the car in the driveway but then saw it was gone by 9:00 a.m. Ring doorbell camera footage places his very distinctive car leaving the neighborhood around 8:20 a.m. From there, Levi travels to the home of a friend, Larry Lucero. He just walks into the house without knocking. Larry's wife, Sonia, said Levi was pale and had a very worried look on his face. His blue jeans were covered with blood. Larry asked what happened and Levi tells him that he had stabbed himself and he needed to come in and take a shower. Larry refuses the request, and Levi offers him money to let him take a shower. Larry immediately walked Levi to the door and tells him to leave. Levi would then drive to the Viking mini storage, entering the facility around 10:22. That morning his car is seen on the security footage driving up to and at the unit he had rented. Levi had to get out of the bloody clothes and he knew there were items of his clothing within, so he went in and changed nearby. Another man pulls up to his rental space and begins putting things away. He has no idea what's going on nearby as Levi takes his bloody clothes and shoes and stuffs them into a U-Haul box. Satisfied with the change, Levi gets back into his car, gets ready to leave, and apparently realizes that the wound on his thigh has continued to bleed. He gets back out and goes back into the storage unit to change again. He comes back out and leaves later. His car is spotted by a couple of license plate readers around the town before he goes and picks up a friend. Strangely, Levi and his close friend decide it's a good time to get haircuts, and they end up at a Sports Clips location. Their banking records and the store's own check-in system show that he had spent just over an hour waiting to get haircuts. Levi, being the good soul that he is, pays for both men's haircuts and leaves a good tip. The two then decide to go to the movies on their way. They stop at Jackson's convenience store, where Levi goes in. Note the heavy limp Levi has as he goes to the ATM and makes 3 quick withdrawals, and then buys a pair of Red Bulls. An hour later, and the two men are at the Regal Edwards movie theater in Nampa, Idaho. They settle in for the 7:00 p.m. showing of Barbarian, a horror movie, at 11:45. The two men have finished seeing their movie and have gone separate ways. It has been a long and busy day for Levi, so he heads back to the halfway house, checks in through the place's PIN system, and calls it a night outside. Unbeknownst to him, members of the local violent offenders task force have been waiting for him to come home. The officers rush in the front door and make their arrest, while an officer with his K-9 assistant come through the back door of the facility to cut off any chance of an escape. Levi Davis would end up at the emergency room that night, handcuffed to a hospital while waiting for his knee to be stitched up. 2 detectives from the Canyon County Sheriff's Office would begin their interrogation after providing him with his Miranda rights. Levi did not ask for an attorney, but instead decided to act sleepy and to attempt to doze off during the interview. His attempts were unsuccessful.
Well, so how come you're so tired right now?
Trying to sleep, man.
Yeah? Well, why are you trying to sleep when we're talking? So let's talk about your mom for a minute. I think you know why we're here. You know why we're here.
What?
You know exactly why we're here.
What?
Well, we know you were at the house this morning. We know that, okay? And I don't like to BS people. I like to learn a little bit about people, but I'm not going to BS you. Okay? We know you were at the house this morning. Okay? We know that some bad things happened at the house.
What house?
At your mom's house. Okay. You know your mom's dead, right? Yeah, you do. We know that. Okay?
What happened to her?
Well, we'd like to know that, Levi. We'd like to understand what happened to her.
I seriously didn't know that. It's been like
Levi.
weeks since I've talked to her.
Levi. Why don't you tell us what happened to her? We'd like to understand. We understand there was some type of argument.
I don't know what you're talking
Right.
about. I haven't been over to my parents anytime recently.
I want you to think about that for a minute. Okay? Do you love your mom?
Yeah.
Okay? And sometimes things just get out of control. We understand that. Totally out of control. I don't think your mom agreed with some of your decisions, right? Right?
I was younger, making mistakes.
Yeah. You're doing pretty good now, though, but something happened today, okay? We know that. And some poor choices were made. Some argument. There was an argument that happened. We know that. Right? Well, what happened? Tell us what happened so we understand.
I've already talked about
Well, your mom's dead, Levi.
Yeah,
You're not
you
even
just told me
You're
that.
not even reacting to it.
You just told me that.
But you're not even reacting to it.
Well, I don't know what's going on.
You're not even
All
looking
so
at me.
crazy.
Right? Why don't you look at me when I talk to you for a minute, okay? So I understand that you're acknowledging what I'm saying. Your mom is dead.
Yeah, I heard you.
Okay.
I don't.
But
How? What from? From.
But you're not
Why?
even. You're not even. Your mom was murdered.
You serious?
I think you already knew that.
You knew that, Levi. We know you knew that.
Uh,
Would it surprise you if we had people that saw you at the house this morning?
I haven't been there.
So those people just saw a figment of their imagination?
I don't know who would be telling me this.
Well, why aren't you
I don't know.
upset that your mom's dead?
I am very upset.
Okay. So, how you say you got a wound to your? Do you mind if I look at the wound on your leg? Is it? It's on your right leg. Is that right?
Come on, gloves.
Yeah, gloves. So, the guy said that you had a wound. I'd appreciate if you just talk with me about this. Look, I know, when we know, I've done this job a long time, we know that things sometimes get out of hand, right? We know that, Levi.
I haven't done anything.
Levi,
What?
listen. We know that, all right? So I'd appreciate if you just talk to me a little bit.
No, I haven't heard nothing.
You don't seem very shocked about it.
This will just.
So is-
Alright, 2 minutes silent.
Okay. You're gonna remain silent? Do you think we're not gonna find your blood on the floor in that house? Right?
I don't know what happened.
Well, sure you do.
I don't know what happened.
You were bleeding too. Why did you go to a buddy's house this morning covered in blood?
I didn't do it.
Well, you did. We have somebody that said you showed up at their house this morning and you were covered in blood.
Things quickly come to a boiling point for the detectives when Levi lays in the bed, pretends to be sleepy, and proclaims he's innocent and that he has no idea what's going on.
Well, sure there is. Your mom's dead. You must have been.
I'm not here to talk. I'm not here to talk about it with you.
What do you mean by that? Your mom's dead.
I would talk about it with my family and stuff. We were talking about it, but I don't.
If I got your dad on the phone right now, would you talk with him
Oh, what?
about what happened this morning?
Yeah, like that type of stuff. I'm not. There's nothing to talk about.
Well, your mom's dead. We need to understand that.
Yeah, well, until you figure out how and when,
Well, we know how.
who.
She got slashed to death. You got slashed in the process. That's bull. You don't even want to talk about what transpired this morning?
Nothing like that.
Your mom's left dead. You don't even bother to call an ambulance for her. And then you got Kevin and your little brothers. And you're not even going to talk to us about this? Come on. That's not fair.
I don't know what to say.
We'd love to hear something.
You guys are trying to blame me for something.
You did. There's no doubt about it. We're not trying to blame you. We want to understand why you did it. We know you did it. I'm sorry?
You're trying to blame me for something I haven't done.
Oh, really? You can lay there without shedding a tear, and we've told you your mom's been killed, and you don't even care.
I don't know what to say. You guys.
You do know what to say. Tell us what happened this
Wrong way to
morning.
wake up her son.
Excuse me?
This is the wrong way to wake up.
Why
her
are you
son.
asleep?
Why was I asleep?
You're laying there. You can't even look at us. Levi, there. Thank you. Now listen, what would your mom want you to do? We understand that people have problems and sometimes things get out of control. We understand that. Okay? We get it. Life isn't perfect for people, right? And you've had kind of a crap life right now. You've been in prison, you have a drug problem, you have an anger problem. We know a little bit about you. We know a little bit, that's why we came to talk to you. And we're going to find it. And it's not going to be your blood, it's going to be your mom's blood. But I can guarantee you I saw blood drops on that floor this morning or this evening that are going to be your blood drops from your leg. Guarantee it.
Take it easy, man. I don't know.
Yeah, you do. You know exactly what I'm talking about. I guarantee we've got footprints in that house that are yours. And you can't even look at me and admit it. That's really, really sad.
The detectives switched to discussing what they have already found in his car and how that evidence is stacking up by the minute. Forensic experts are finding blood smears throughout the little Chevy AO along with a bloody pair of pants. Luminol would turn up even more blood smears on items within the car as well as likely handholds he would use getting in and out of it. The detectives try one more time to lay out the evidence before Levi, but he's not budging on his stance that he wasn't involved. The lead detective knows this isn't going anywhere, so he apprises Levi.
Just go straight to jail.
You're going to jail from here. Yep. I gave you your opportunity. You could have changed this whole outcome tonight
What do you mean?
by telling us what happened.
There's nothing to tell
But
you
there
about.
is, Levi.
I haven't been doing anything wrong.
You did do something wrong. You went to your mom's house this morning.
I've never heard wrong.
I see. I'm so done with this conversation. Good luck to you, sir.
Levi Davis would be transported to the jail that evening, his mugshot taken, and DNA swabs would be taken to compare against blood samples found at the crime scene. His car and those on his clothing and items found in the storage unit. In time, Levi would come to terms in some way with what he had done that day. He would plead guilty to second-degree murder in the death of his own mother, Carly Cantrell. In one terrible morning, a 26-year-old man would shatter his own family, take his mother's life, and guarantee that he would never see freedom again before. He was an old man. If ever, what could have driven him to that moment? Was it a long-standing or simmering argument? Was he there for drug, money, or was he just an out of control?